So can you introduce yourself, who you are, and what is your role with Hyundai?
So I am Tia Battle, and I am the Director and General Manager for Hyundai in the Central Region. So our Central Regional Office is based out of Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois. And we cover approximately 132 dealers in 7 states in the Midwest. So I have about 55 people who work for me, district managers on the sales and service side. I have field service engineers as well who are on my team. I've got marketing, I got distribution and car flow. I know I'm probably forgetting somebody, but there's a whole crew of us that helps Jose Munoz's job just a little bit easier. And there's 7 of us, 7 regions across the United States.
So how did you get to such a great position? And you move a lot of metal because, yes.
We are on our way to 1.2 million cars. So last year,
In your region?
Not just in our region. In our region, we sell approximately about 96,000 vehicles. But the company as a whole, our goal is to sell 1.2 million cars by 2025. And
In the U.S.?
In the United States. And the Central region represents 13% of that.
Wow.
Yes, we do.
So what was your journey to get there then?
So I know I don't look it, my age, but I've been in the automotive industry for over 20 years. I am originally here from suburban Detroit. And like I said, I went to Michigan State, go green.
Go green.
And I started my career with another manufacturer that might be located in downtown Detroit, but I started there. And I worked my way through. I can say I've had a lot of different mentors. I like to jokingly say, so Randy Parker, when I worked for this other manufacturer, he worked for it, and I worked for Randy Parker for about 4 days in California before I found my way here to Hyundai. So we had to bring over everyone else. But I started my career as a district manager in California. So I covered from Ranch Cucamonga out to Palm Springs. It was my district. And then as I worked, I went to go get my MBA. I just started working my way into senior management. And I've actually had this role with Hyundai for 2 years. So I received this promotion 2 years ago, and I got a call from our CEO, Randy Parker. And Randy Parker actually is our first African-American CEO. And he called me and told me that I got this job 2 years ago, and it has been amazing ever since. Running the Central region and getting us on our way to that 1.2 million vehicles has been a thrill. For us to contribute almost 100,000 cars on that, it's amazing to see it.
Going on that story, too, because this is not my father's Hyundai Excel in 1987.
The ones we did donuts in the parking lot?
Yeah. So it's not the same Hyundai Excel. But I've also had a chance to go global and see, and you're the 3rd largest global manufacturer. And the vehicles, you're leading electrification. You're even so successful that you're dropping the price.
Yes, we are.
For 2024. Kind of talk about that and the efficiency you guys are getting that other people aren't.
So I think it would probably be easier for me to tell you what awards we haven't won, because that list is shorter.
I know that's right.
When you said electric EVs, yes, Ioniq Series, World Car of the Year, International Car of the Year, you name it, we win all those awards. Actually, I need you to come to my office in Oak Brook, because I have life-size posters of our awards.
Definitely want to come out there.
Yes.
So that's a date. We lock that in.
You have to. And yes, electrification. And when we mentioned earlier today, our plant in Savannah, Georgia is going to be our EV battery plant. And we are just going off to the races. We have the Ioniq 5, which is our CUV. We've got the Ioniq 6, which is our sedan. And then later on this year in Q4, we are going to have the Ioniq 7. And that will be our 7-passenger, all-electric SUV. I'm excited for that one. I think I'm going to have to fight everyone on my team to get that as my company car. We'll see if being director lets me get it first.
I know, right?
I don't know.
Seniority should have a little privilege.
I am. But it's like all the awards we have. I mean, even right now, if you knew, I actually have in my office right now a 24 model year Santa Fe. The new Santa Fe just came out as well. They started production on that earlier this month, and it has been rolling off of the assembly line in Montgomery, Alabama. So that vehicle is coming. The price, we love to say, like you said, it is not the Excel we had in the past. We are winning awards. We also love initial quality. We pretty much take the crown with Hyundai and Genesis and quality awards as well. You know that your car is safe. You've got our 10100 powertrain warranty on that vehicle as well, and you get it all for an amazing price. We have so much technology. I was in a meeting last night with Jose Munoz and Randy Parker, and we were talking about our Elantra. And
it looks nice. And I saw the new Sonata too.
New Sonata in a base model Sonata and Elantra. There is more equipment and technology in that car where you would go to any other manufacturer and you have to go 3 or 4 trims higher to get what we give you in a base model. Why? Because we know that that is what the customer, we talk about it and we talk about, what is your journey? What is your journey with Hyundai? And your journey with Hyundai is that. It's giving you the most for a reasonable price so that you feel like you've got like the best thing ever, which you do. I mean, that's the way we're doing it. I mean, I have my whole family in that car, and I'm from Michigan, and I'm like, okay, it's like family, it's time to support, getting that Hyundai. And I'm like, and Genesis as well. I used to work for Genesis as well in California, and you can't go wrong. If you want to get Hyundai, if you want to go luxury and get Genesis, you really, truly can't go wrong with either one. You can't.
Well, what I'll say too is that what I want to ask about is, what is interesting to me is your former employer, and we're not going to talk about them.
He's just downtown Detroit.
This downtown Detroit. But Hyundai's been able to come into America, and I was looking at the Excel in 87. It's a touch point, because that's, I used to remember my dad squeezing his 4 kids in the back. We all squeeze like this.
Don't touch me,
Don't touch me, right? You know what you're doing. Y'all be quiet back there.
Yes.
To 2007, when you start bringing in the new Sonata, you know what I mean?
Got Car of the Year, like I said. It's
Car of the Year. Then now when you bring in the Ioniq 5 and how that won awards. And then now you're doing rear wheel drive on electrification. Then you brought rear wheel luxury, and then some of our companies that were native to Michigan felt like they couldn't sell luxury in America, but then Hyundai was able to be successful coming so far back in my lifetime. When I was a little younger, then I went to study mechanical engineering and economics. And how did you guys, what do you think gave Hyundai an edge over even the domestics? Because you guys also have a strong footprint in America. You have plants in Alabama. Here we are in the technical center in Central Michigan. What was it that you felt, having worked on that side and worked here, that was the delineator to give you guys that edge up to make that market foothold?
Innovation. Really, truly, when we look at our design team, we basically told them, do what you want. We have mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, where our design center in California, we just said, you know what, build us what you want to see. And these engineers have come from all across the world, different companies, where other companies may have told them, no, that's just too outside the box, too outside the box. But that's not how Chairman Chung runs. He goes, I want outside the box. And that's exactly how you ended up with where we are today. We will have a car where we're like, what? A full-size electrified SUV. Who would have thought about that? Luxury with Genesis as well. I worked for Genesis in California. That's actually how I left.
I love the
Midwest
story
the
of
first
Genesis
time.
too. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. I was there at the launch, and it really, truly was our chairman.
I was there in Torrance, California, when you guys had it, when you had the guy from the Eagles Hotel California. There was another person that was, he's now at Waymo.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was there at that time as well.
Wow, so I hung out with you there.
You did at our building in Fountain Valley.
Yeah.
We have, and that's the thing, we always want to be innovators and think outside the box. That is exactly
What
how
struck me was you were benchmarking with the BMW 745, and I got on the track in performance, and I'm like, the audacity.
The best part is when you were on the track, they had us in there too. So what they did is they took our whole team and they had the competition sitting there. And they said, okay, we had that BMW sitting there. We had that Mercedes sitting there. And then they put a Genesis right next to it. And they said, okay, we want you to go ahead and do a walk around on all the competition and then get in our car. And the interesting thing is like a Mercedes S-Class. We have the top of the line S-Class, $100,000. And then you get into a G90. And it was a base model G90 and it had more in it than a $100,000 S-Class.
Wow.
That is what we wanted to do. It is a beautiful, beautiful set of vehicles, and it was just because our team said, hey, we want to know, how is this going to be your journey? If you're a consumer, what do you want? And we can do it, we can make it affordable, and yes, we make money too at the same time.
No, you guys do.
We do not have to have a crazy price, nothing like that. And then our dealers, and that's another thing, is our dealer network, they had to also be behind it. Like here in Michigan, if you get a chance, you go down to Fox down the street. The Fox Auto Group is not just in Michigan. They're also in Illinois. They're in the Midwest. Built us a beautiful...
They're in the Maryland, D.C. area too.
They are.
Yeah, that's how I know about
see
them.
All these new Hyundai facilities we're building. Now, I know we love our acronyms. We call them GDSI facilities, but you don't need to know that. But
Yeah.
you see it, we call it 2.0. because you're going to go see the bronze on the front. Then you're going to get to see the LaFontaine Group is going to build our first Genesis standalone facility here in Michigan.
I'm looking forward to that.
They just finished their construction on their Dearborn facility. I got to see that. And I can tell you, Ryan LaFontaine and his father, they were like, what do you need? What do you need? They're like, whatever, there's no amount of money. I mean, they didn't say that because, you know, we're going to. But they were thinking it. But they are behind us. Our dealer network believes in the brand as well. They looked at it and they took it and they ran with it. So you're seeing all these beautiful facilities. In the Midwest alone, Hyundai, you see the 2.0. So LaFontaine Group is done. Fox is done. These guys are all building facilities all around town. You're also going to see, if you're in Lansing, you're going to see Williams as well. Grand Rapids, they're about to break ground as well, too. So all of these facilities, our dealers believe in us. They're building our customers beautiful places to go and relax. If you get a chance, I'm going to have to take you the largest.
We're going to have to set a date for me to come back.
If you come to Chicago Auto Show, I need to take you around because I got to take you to the largest Hyundai facility in the country. Is located in Joliet, Illinois. Over 62,000 square feet. Pictures do not do it justice.
I want to really be able to come back and see that story, especially in the Midwest.
Yes.
Because I did a piece that was on like the heritage of Detroit and Michigan to mobility in America, to commerce in America, because the whole...
Like my thesis in grad school.
Yes.
Right.
Michigan and commerce, when they were saying let Detroit go bankrupt, and I'm like, this is the commerce engine. Dwight D. Eisenhower and Interstate Highway wouldn't have even been possible without what was going on in Detroit and Michigan.
We need to do a drive around. Like I mentioned, the LaFontaine Group, the Fox Group, these dealers believe in us, and they are supporting us, and they are building in our communities. I grew up in Dearborn Heights, Michigan, and seeing LaFontaine from when, like you said, that whole Excel time back in the day, that was our throwaway car. I remember going down the street, if you went to that whole patch of dealerships in Dearborn, Michigan, and you saw that, and then you look at what they built for us today. Why? Because they believe in Hyundai.
No, I need to be able to come back and do that story, because for me, I also went to Korea, to Goyan, and looking at the materials, because you have like the rocks and then how you refine the materials. Then you have the car design. Then you have the safety.
I can't wait for LaFontaine to finish. But if you come visit me in Chicago, the Lupercio Group in Elgin, Illinois, you can see they have our standalone in Chicago. So our first standalone Genesis and the brand new Hyundai facility, they are side by side, right next to each other. We can go back and forth between the two, but we have that garden that you saw.
Yes.
We have that in our Genesis facility.
Oh.
It's inside. Okay, I'm gonna tease you with where it is. When you go to the restroom, that's where you'll see it.
Wow.
Walk into the restroom, and you see the Zen garden before you go into the restroom.
That is also, when you even talk about that too, like in the Genesis, you have the orb, you have the lighting and the ambiance that's built into the experience.
Awesome. Yes, I'm going to take you to visit our stores. And then LaFontaine, they just had to finish their Hyundai stores first, and then now they're breaking ground on their Genesis location. They're going to have our first Genesis standalone facility here in Michigan. So it's just, we couldn't do this without a combination of our executive team, our leaders, our regional team here, and our dealers believing in us. We have been working very, very hard on our dealer network. Right now, a Hyundai or a Genesis franchise is the most wanted franchise that you could get right now. Everybody wants it. And why? Because of the things you mentioned before. Our product, our people, the vision of our executives, that's why everyone wants to work with Hyundai.
So let's talk about future work, right? Because that's very important here. What do you see? And you're building new platforms, you're building new technology, you're talking about construction, so there's work where you could work with the dealers, it's electrification, there's going to be new techs needed. We're here at a technical center, so you said y'all have mechanical engineers, and you're going to need electrical and computer engineers for the systems, the telematics. Talk about expansion and future of work and what that vision is like for Hyundai.
So for Hyundai, we have what we call employee resource groups. Our employee resource groups, I actually used to be the president of the Women at Hyundai Employee Resource Group. Then we have the African American one, Hyundai Soul. We have Because Asian. Brandon was the president of Amigos Unidos for our Hispanic brothers and sisters. And a part of that in growing the people and how we're recruiting is actually going through our employee resource groups. They're coming to us. We're the best spokespeople because we've been able to grow and experience the same thing. So our employee resource groups, we've been going out, we've been going to colleges, HBCUs, like I'm in Hyundai Seoul as well.
We would love to bring the Bisons, and I'm a Bison. We'd love to bring Howard. How can we collaborate Hyundai and Howard?
That is exactly what we're doing. Hyundai Seoul, we have been working. So when I mentioned those 7 regions that we have, one of our regions is based out of Atlanta. So with that, we've started the recruitment, and that's exactly why HBC.
But I was just on a call with my Bisons, and they were like, you talking Hyundai, tell them that we need to talk about DC.
I am going to put you in contact with Monique Jackson. She is the new chair of the Hyundai Seoul Employee Resource Group. And then we also have a young leaders group. So young leaders, we put them together and have mentorship programs with them. So me being an executive, I've also done talks on like, what's your personal brand? What are you doing? And
with young students.
With young students, we do that.
How would you like to do that, like in a virtual environment, a 3D game? Yes.
I do it all the time. And then it's the same thing with at our corporate headquarters in California. We had, bring your child to work day. And what we did is we went to local schools and we brought them in. We showed them everything in automotive. Everyone thinks automotive is just engineers. And it's not.
No.
We got sales, we got marketing, we got human resources, we've got advertising, we have all these different things. So we brought all these students in and we were like, the world is your oyster. What do you want to do? We took them all around that building and had everyone talk to them. Virtually, I also did a group where it was an HBCU that was based out of Florida, and they had a chance to go one-on-one and talk with
Bethune or FAMU.
Yes, there were actually a bunch. They all added me on LinkedIn. It was great.
Yeah.
But they had a chance to interact with us. And then if you've met Michelle Tinson, the gentleman she works with, Ira, he did the same thing. He goes, you want to be in PR? Cool. Let me talk to you about PR. For me, I'm in sales and marketing. What do we want to do? Business. That's what I do as well. So we've been doing that recruitment because I can't retire until I bring the new generation up. And it's always, one of my mentors said to me, as I climb and make my way up, I can't forget when I climb that ladder, I got to reach down and pull more people up with me. And that's what I work to do all the time. And that is why, yes, we are encouraged at Hyundai, mentorship. Jose Munoz, I remember, and I tell this story because he'll remind me of it, is when I was in California and I was the chair of women at Hyundai, at the time he had us in this women in leadership program. And we did not have a single female executive in the C-suite. So they were telling us, hey, you're here, you're women in leadership, but there wasn't a single woman there. So then we had a town hall with Jose, and he was like, we need more diversity in this company. He'd only been our CEO for maybe 6 months. And he was like, we need more diversity. I know that all of you are qualified, you have the fire, we're gonna do this. And I was sitting across the table from him, and I can't compose my facial expressions. I may have rolled my eyes at him. I was like, right, I've heard that before. And he reminded me, and he reminds me every chance he gets, he set out and he did it. That is one thing about Jose Munoz.
And now you even have a black CEO.
We do. He told us, and I was like, yeah, we hear that. And he did. He put his money where his mouth was, and he was like, I knew we had people to do this, because the way that we're a successful company is also in our diversity. If we didn't have our diversity, we wouldn't be able to build great products like we do. They want our feedback and what we can do. And when Jose, he actually got an award from Automotive News.
And I remember that was Andre Hudson, too, that was in your design.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got an award for being the championing and being the most diversity COO, because Jose he spearheaded that. Between Randy Parker, Angela Zepeda, Ola B.C. Boyle, who's head of our planning. She's the lady who is behind all of our products. Brandon Ramirez, all of us. Jose was like, we need this diversity. This enriches our company. And when I told him, I was like, you know what? I love when I tell people, prove me wrong. And he did. And he did it quickly. He went out there and he was like, it wasn't hard to find the best of the best. He goes, I just had to convince you to come and work with me. And I'm like, and that's him. That is exactly what he believes in. And that's what makes us a really great company as well, too.
So you talked about being able to talk to young kids, being in virtual platforms. You guys actually, disclaimer, we actually are a recipient of one of the grants from Brandon in the CSR. We actually build a 3D video game for future work. Multi-generational black engineers. I got to Syracuse at 15, double major mechanical engineering and economics. My son got to Carnegie Mellon at 15, studying electrical and computer engineering. And in our game, you actually simulate the automotive industry. So you could go through automotive pathways because I was mechie, he's computer. But what we're looking at is, so what kind of initiatives, what kind of visions, because I've seen the N line. I've seen how you bring an N line and even the N line for the Ioniq 5, which is awesome looking. Like you're doing that. I'm seeing how you brought
the Kona inline,
yes.
we got the Tucson inline. It's like, what do you want? Because that's a part of ours too. And we have the Brian Herta Motorsports team too.
Yeah.
They help us and they collaborate with us a lot as well. So we've got so much future stuff happening with that. It's amazing.
So we're looking like, what are the best pathways for a parent that wants to get their child to be able to be successful working for Hyundai? What would be the best pathway you suggest? Because we are looking at a vision of a community of over 1 million people making six figures, especially African Americans. And we look at the automotive industry as a great opportunity for them to be able to do it. You are a living example. Hyundai has a lot of living examples.
Exactly.
So what advice would you give to parents that has a 10-year-old? And how do they get them to be where you are?
What you're doing now. Events like this where you get a chance to meet executives like myself, also to the auto shows. We're all at the auto shows and do the same exact things where we're recruiting. I am running out of business cards where I'm like, here, because we're also recruiting and Hyundai wants to foster that as well. So we have that linked in. I remember, so my godson, he's in Illinois now, but he's originally from Michigan. And I remember when he was 12 years old, he sent me a LinkedIn request. And I was like, you don't have any jobs, what are you talking about? We had already fostered that through Jack and Jill. And my best friend, she had him do that. And then likewise with my nephew, I did the same thing. So it's so many different avenues. I always tell everyone, network. And we have so many community ways to do it with Jack and Jill, with our fraternities and sororities as well. Because guess what, like I said, our employee resource groups, that's exactly why we wanted to start recruiting. We were like, we get that our HR brothers and sisters are really busy, really busy. But the best spokespeople are us, the very employees we are. We're all sitting around, so that's why we went out and we started doing it. I have right now 3 different mentees, where one, she just met me in a volunteer event with National Black MBA.
Wow.
She sent me a message on LinkedIn and said, I am doing a mentorship request. She spoke to my heart because she basically did not give me a chance to say no. She was kind of like, congratulations, Tia, you are my mentor. And I was like, okay, because I did something to someone else not too long ago. And how did I learn that? My mother joined groups like Jack and Jill, things like that, to teach your child, how to network. I tell people all the time we do national meetings, my team will never see me with them. I'm like, why aren't you talking to the other regions? We got 6 more regions besides us. Go meet more people. So I would say as a parent, go to these different groups and associations. If you're in a fraternity or sorority, network with them. Me, I'm a member of National Black MBA. You don't have to have an MBA to be in National Black MBA. They have events where they're kind of like, are you interested in getting an MBA? Is this a future career for you? Let's do a vision. There's a vision board planning with my Chicago chapter in a week.
Wow.
And I'm actually going to take my mentee who does not have a graduate degree yet, but I'm kind of like, is this something you're interested in? I'm bringing her with me because my mentee, I'm in business. She's in tech. I was like, you want me to be your mentor? And she goes, I need to know how to network and meet people. So I'm taking her to different events, and that's going to give her an opportunity to meet others. So parents, get out there. We have so many opportunities out there for everyone. Join these groups. You will find people like myself. And when we say our doors open, contact us, we mean it. Because we really, truly, just like my mentor said, as I climb the ladder, I'm always going to reach back and pull people up there with me. It's just the way we have to do it. It makes us a richer society. It really, truly does. So you do it. Heck, that's the reason I got to school on a full scholarship. I did it academically. That was my mom doing research and networking with all.
That's what I did for my son.
I was a total nerd. And she was like, Michigan State. They both gave you full rides. What you want? And I'm like, well, 2 hours versus 20 minutes. I'm going to go here. I was like, I'll see you later. And I'm like, she did it through networking. She literally was like, you sent your child to school. What did you do? She had me taking SAT prep when I was in 7th grade. I didn't know half that test, but she did it to prepare me. So by the time when it really counted, I was like, this will be fine.
Wow.
And my mom just started networking with other parents, going to events that she would find people and say, you know what, my child is interested in you and doing what you want to do. And then she encouraged me to do the same. And so I say, do that. Go to all the events. You're an engineer. You got NSBE.
Yeah.
You have, I think it's Detroit NSBE. There's Detroit Young Leaders. There's a bunch of different groups that you can go out there, and they have all these social events. Meet everybody. Be like, hey, I'd love to have my child. Could you come talk to them? Come talk to their school? I do it all the time.
So when we're trying to build, and what you guys have been able to support us with, and we're hoping for more support, is build that in a gamified environment so that now people could do that online, a safe online.
Kind of like a metaverse.
Yes, Afrofuturistic metaverse.
Well, it's a lot easier too, because then you can have people from California.
That's what we're doing.
And
So that's what I'm talking with Brad, and I'm talking with you about, because what I didn't know was the extent that you had the infrastructure to support it. We've actually built that at Carnegie Mellon with the Heinz School of Public Policy, where you have heroes, superheroes, and sidekicks, so that the kids, like what you're talking about, are sidekicks. You are a superhero that's already there, and then you have to help people go on their journey, and your career is your journey.
You can help arrange it with Michelle Tenson. Like, the reason I was talking to those students in Florida was because PR reached out to me, and I'm like, I'll make time. Like, that is what I live for. You will rarely find someone who will tell you no. Rarely.
No, that's what we're looking for.
I love seeing their little faces.
Yes, and it's so awesome. And my life, for me personally, has been enriched. I was working with some kids at 2 schools this week. Last week, I was in a low-income neighborhood in Pittsburgh, working at the University of Pittsburgh, and seeing the hope. So I saw a young girl write, I want to be a nurse, and I'm like, why? Because she was like, I want to save lives. And it just warned me what they want to do.
Yeah, and see, my nephew, he's a nurse here in Michigan.
Yep.
And our executives do it all the time. So when I remember.
And I know you guys sponsor a lot of health initiatives too.
We really do. And I even tell people now, I'm like, yeah, my healthcare is good. It pays for my acupuncture, my therapist.
Yes,
I'm like,
we have to have our therapist, yes. For our folks, we need that.
I could get upset with Jose, but I can't tell Jose that. I got to go talk to my therapist.
You got to talk to your therapist.
Let me talk it out. Like, okay, I guess he was right. I ain't gonna tell him that though. But like,
yes.
That's the thing. It's all these individuals. We will talk to everyone, and seeing these kids and meeting everyone, and just being able to communicate, even during COVID.
Yeah.
Our executives. So when I was Women at Hyundai chair, I would do interviews with various executives, and we would ask the same questions. How'd you get where you want to get? How'd you get where you wanted to be? What's your personal brand? How'd you build on that? So we had Claudia Marquez, we had Ola B.C. Boyle, we had all these people, and they do it all the time. Brandon Ramirez was doing that with Amigos Unidos and the Young Leaders. We have had Freddie Perez, one of our executives, do an interview. Randy Parker did an interview with everyone, and he did it virtually, so all the employees, we could ask him questions. How'd you get from TCU basketball with those short shorts and make your way up to
Yes.
We all do it, and we can do it virtually, and it encourages people. And I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you can do this because that gives everybody hope that they can really, truly be whatever they put their mind to. They really can.
So in conclusion, how can a person start on their Hyundai journey?
The way I would say to start on your Hyundai journey is, number one, you gotta love cars. You gotta love them. And yes, while I'm standing in front of a sign that says Hyundai, I say cars. Not just love Hyundai. You gotta love cars. Then the next thing you have to do is you have to love the Hyundai culture, the collaboration, the leadership. You gotta want to be a part of that team. Because the way we do things, our collaboration is huge. If you are going to be in a silo and by yourself, it will not work with us. So you got to be willing to do that with us on your Hyundai journey. So love cars, want to be a part of that culture, and then also don't take no for an answer. Go where we are. Walk into a dealership and just introduce yourself. How do you contribute to Hyundai? Ask questions. You are here at Patchy. Come make an appointment. John Robb he may have had to go back to work.
Yeah.
But John Robb, he's like, come on in, have a good time. Me, I took my team down to the Montgomery plant because they had never seen cars.
And I want to be able to go down to Montgomery plant and see a factory.
They have personal tours. My team was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? When we came out, they had lined up all the new Santa Fe so we could see them, crawl through them, everything. So go where we are. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And when you're that's how you start your Hyundai journey, because then people are going to get to know who you are. They're going to get to know who you are, and they're going to go, you know what, Tia? I saw her. She was at Hatchie, and now I have this opportunity. Right now, I just opened up a position where I'm looking for, it's kind of like how we would have an intern, but I need a sales associate. I am purposely out there looking for that recent college grad where I'm like, okay, I want you to come in. I want you to be our analyst. Start. When you're our analyst, that's when we're going to be training you to go out into the field. So we're posting all these jobs online right now. We're hiring. Like, please tell a friend. I mean, seriously, I am looking for a sales associate. I'm looking for 2 district sales managers. I am looking for, I just filled my market rep development role, but we are all hiring across the country. When other companies are laying people off, that's not us at Hyundai because we're growing. So wherever you want to be, we have a job open. And that leads me to my final thing on your Hyundai journey is you gotta be mobile. I went from girl here in Michigan, my first job with that other company down the street, they put me in New York City. I went from a dorm room to New York City. Then they moved me to California. Then another company found me, moved me back here to the Midwest to Chicago. Then I went back out to California again. I moved around to get to where I wanted to be. So I always tell people to be mobile. Sometimes you're gonna have to take a role that might be lateral just so you can gain that knowledge from it, and then that can keep you going in the next vein. So love cars, be a part of our culture, understand what our culture is, and be ready to collaborate with us. You got to be willing to kind of network. Go out there to where everything is so you can learn everything you need to learn about Hyundai. Go into dealerships, go into our facilities, and then just be mobile. And that's all you got to do.
Thank you so very